Hello and welcome to the Federal. North Korea began the new year by conducting a series of missile tests, including one which it claims was a hypersonic missile. A hypersonic missile can cruise at a speed faster than sound. The launch was attended by North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, who called for boosting the country's strategic military forces. This drew condemnation from Japan and the US and prompted an expression of concern from the UN Secretary General. North Korea's move is looked upon as an attempt to intensify the global race for the next generation of long-range weapons. The country tested its first such missile last year, which South Korea claimed was a failure. But this time they succeeded. North Korea is not the only one to test hypersonic missiles. Countries like China, the United States, and Russia have done it in recent months. Last year, China launched a rocket carrying a hypersonic glide vehicle that circled the globe before cruising down towards its target, which it missed by about 24 miles. In July, Russia successfully tested a zirconic hypersonic cruise missile, which President Vladimir Putin claimed was part of a new generation of missile systems. Moscow also tested the weapon from a submarine for the first time. The United States said in late September that it had tested an air-breathing hypersonic weapon which can sustain flight on its own through the air like a cruise missile. This marked the first successful test of this class of weapon, which was first tested by the US in 2013. Days after this announcement, North Korea fired a newly developed hypersonic missile for the first time, calling it a strategic weapon that boosted its defense capabilities. Hypersonic missiles typically launch a warhead that travels at more than 5 or more times the speed of sound, often maneuvering at relatively low altitudes. When missiles cruise at low altitudes, it becomes difficult for the enemy radar to detect them. Analysts say that the main feature of such missiles isn't speed but maneuverability. Combining a glide vehicle with a missile that can launch it partially into orbit could strip adversaries of reaction time and traditional defense mechanisms. Hypersonic weapons and FOBs can potentially evade missile shields and early warning systems. When developed countries like the US and Russia dabble with such dangerous weapons, it triggers an arms race amongst smaller Asian nations which strive to match them by launching their own long-range missiles. Such a maddening race to accumulate weapons of superior quality should remind world leaders of the Cold War era, where the two rival blocs of US and the USSR accumulated enough weapons to destroy the world many times over, but nothing came out of it. For more such videos, log on to thefederal.com.